So, hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth event. It all started around half a year ago. Alec was pissed off with boring meetups, and probably you've been on different meetups. So we came with the idea of interactive, immersive experience. I call it edutainment, education and entertainment. And then we came with the idea Kata. We will explain it in a minute, and it's called Engineering Management Kata today. So welcome to Engineering Management Kata number 5. Thank you. Yeah, I have it.
Just before Tim will continue, before the slide contained mostly me and him, and I'm really happy that today we put so many great faces over there. Those are our volunteers and mentors, because they're helping us to run those events. Many of them are organized by them, together with them, and you will learn to get also from them today.
Yeah, so it's great that our team is growing, and if you see some people around, you might not recognize them from this photo, but definitely there's even few more people who are helping behind the stage with some online and other stuff. And today we would like to say thank you to the company that hosts everything. So, Kimberly, yeah. And the microphone, yeah. And it's probably the biggest space we had so far. Just everything you'd like to say.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome to Babel. So we're really happy to have you here, and we got some nice hosts for you. We're going to talk just really briefly about what happens in this area and how you can even learn more about it. So.
Can you close?
Oh, yes, I can. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are we going to start with? You're here at Babel, and we want to make sure one of the first things you know about is really something that we hold near and dear. You'll also see it on the backs of our t-shirts, right, Ibrahim? We'll see this in just a moment. So, this is our purpose here at Babel, is we want to create mutual understanding through language. I don't even have to look at the slide to say what it is, because it's not just something that we have on our t-shirt now or on the slide. We really use this to drive how we learn, because it's not just about learning the language itself, but it's how we're going to put it to use. And some of you have asked already, like, what is Babel? Like, what are you doing to make us hopefully learn languages more and create that mutual understanding? So we wanted to quickly talk about what we offer. So you'll hear a lot about our self-study app. So that's either accessed through mobile or web, but you can engage in lessons, reviews, all sorts of amazing things. We have a nice conversational practice too. And we want to mention, Babel's really proud of our live classes. So if you prefer to have conversations with teachers or other students, that's what we do with live. We have it individual now as well. And the third item here, I'm also very happy to talk about. I work in our B2B department, so does one of my team members here as well. And B2B is then wrapping all of this together, all the success that we offer to our other users, we make available to our organization so they can hit their targets there as well. And our last item we talk about, we want to make language learning as fun and engaging as possible. So if you'd rather listen to a podcast, no problem. If you want to read a magazine article, no problem. We have that all available for learning. And some quick things about Babel. We have been around since 2007, and it all started in Berlin. So we had some really talented people come together from different disciplines, and they decided what this would all look like. We have now grown to over 1,000 team members. They're not all here in our office. We also have a site based in New York, but between our two hubs in New York and Berlin, we have a lot that we're accomplishing. And you saw that we really want to create mutual understanding through language. One of the other things that drives our work is diversity. So we also like to sort of brag a bit here that we have over 80 nationalities represented at Babel. Okay, so if we've done a great job so far, interesting you maybe in using Babel, but maybe you're interested in finding out more about working here, there you go, jobs.babel.com. I'll leave it there for a moment. Oh, yeah, please take. I'm going to pause for access. Love this. All right, and then if you want to find out more too, so Ibrahim, will you wave your hand from the very back? So this is one of the members of our talent acquisition management team. He is like the most fun person to work with. So even if you get to talk with him today or in the future, I'm embarrassing him, like please take advantage of that. And this is how you know that he's here. He's wearing this amazing t-shirt as well. So are you the only one? Do we have anyone else in our amazing t-shirts? Ibrahim, you get everybody waiting for you. I love it. So no stress. And then a few quick things before we wrap it up, because we have to make sure we have information about this as well. So you're in our wonderful facility. If you need to find the emergency exits, they are very well marked. We've got our exits in back. We have a different kind of exit if you need to use the restroom. If you just go straight down the stairs in the back, you'll find the signs pointing to that. And we have a designated smoking area just outside, so we just ask you to smoke there. And if you're enjoying our beverages, we just want to put them back in the crates. I think those are all the important items. So I am done talking about Babel. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Cholan, and let's kick it off for why we are here, right? So basically, this group here, our mission is to provide or basically making sure that the engineering management skills across the globe, that's the bigger mission, right, is also coming up to management skills and growing them. But in general, also in that sense, how we would like to do it is to provide a safe space with real world examples, what we can solve together. And in general, that's what the group mission is. But then what is Kata, right? Probably that's the very burning question for everybody in general. If you are already here, you would know. If you were in the previous meetups as well, I was one of them, like Alex mentioned. I started also as a participant here, but then I started to also volunteer and enjoying this journey. So what is EM Kata? So we just said, right, so we would like to give all the aspiring engineering managers and are already into engineering management for a while to have a safe space in order to work on real world examples and talk to basically different people and solve a problem, right? Otherwise, you would do all of these things in trial and error method in your own way, and then you get to learn, right? So in the whole idea here is to do it together in a safe space. But what exactly is Kata? Probably some of you who are here already knows. Kata is actually a martial arts Japanese word. So basically, originally literally translates to form, but in martial arts, it's used to say the form that the trainers or trainees hold in unison to learn the art, right? The martial art. So in that sense, what we are going to do here is also we are coming together to discuss a real world problem in unison, see how you can contribute, how you can learn from each other, and that's what our Kata is all about. And this is all also very, the methodologies used here are also inspired from the MBAs and all the other Katas or architectural discussions. So now moving forward. So what we have here, it's all crafted, but based on true events. So you would see real world examples here, that's the idea. But then what we also have here is some fictitious company names, maybe all the use cases that we can discuss here, but beware, these are really problems that we are solving from the real world. And with that, Alec, you can introduce yourself.
I also would like to say a special thanks to our juries, we call them chartants, because they will give you direct and honest feedback, so you can learn pretty quickly from your presentation, from your outcomes, from the way you will solve the challenge. Just a couple of the words. I'm really happy that Kimberly decided to volunteer to join us. I didn't meet her before, like on LinkedIn. She works in Babel, as you know. Thank you for that. And with Alex, like I know Alex for a really, really long period of time. He also gave me some ideas on the future katas, and we will play them. And Jack already even inspired the previous kata that we had about negotiations. And I believe we had many conversations with Jack, and I really loved the way when he participated in the panels and so on, especially his jokes, so I expect to have more today. One of the questions that I do have to our share tank, and with probably all of you, is how they're going to evaluate the solutions that you will provide. So maybe you can give us more insights on that.
So my job here is going to be looking at the team aspect, how you deal with the team setup, how the teams go into the organization. So today's topic is a bit about team topologies and things like that. So I'll be looking to see how you integrate that and the way that it looks in the organization and for the team itself that's affected in this case.
Was it work? Yes. Yes, from my side, I'm going to evaluate the technical side of the solution and also looking at the short-term solution and long-term solution, and also keeping in mind the team topology and also the product domains and basically how you are going to wrap this technical solution around the product domain and also the company. So yeah, happy to provide feedback.
Yeah, and to add to those topics, my main focus will be thinking about the plan itself. So how well does this involve different team members? How does this bring everyone together into the solution? And what does that include? How iterative and incremental would that approach be?
Yeah, thank you a lot, and I believe it will be awesome based on our experience before and really valuable. Okay, how do we play EM Kata? It's pretty straightforward. We'll just split into smaller groups, approximately 4 people in the group, might be a little bit more, a little bit less. You'll have one of mentors participating in your group. You should have your number. If you don't have one, please let us know pretty soon. And then you have a couple of roles inside your group. One of them, someone should take notes or create a presentation. Another one should take care about the time. Everyone discusses, and as always, you have a mentor. And then, after creating a presentation, you have approximately 1 hour and 10 minutes. Please put them in a slide deck. We will just pre-select 3 of them. Most probably we'll just quickly look on them and tell which team will present them here, and Reese will give a feedback on those selected 3, so we do have 30 minutes to review them. I would love to review all of them. Unfortunately, just time consuming, approximately 10 minutes for each, so we are limited here. Let's start with our subject. Why is the Conway's law? I'm just wondering, who of you knows why I put all of have idea why I put all of those 3 pictures together? And how it can be related with the Conway's law? Jack, you have ideas?
I can see some relationships between those items, but the fridge is kind of a bit baffling in this case.
Yeah, so it's a combination of different areas. So for example, electronics, here it's a light, and how you can produce light and get electronics from it. Also chemistry, or for example, electrodynamics here and nuclear stuff. When we combine them together, we're getting something more, something like a fridge that works for you. For example, that you wouldn't have before, 60, 70 years before that, and our life would be different. And the same happens with the team topology, because we're combining people structure and a technical structure, and how people talk to each other. So it's like a social, technical thing you combine together, and this is the reason it's so powerful and valuable. And let me invite Sheldon again.
Yeah, okay. So let's introduce Conway's law, but it was already introduced, right? So what is Conway's law? Organizations often create their system designs that reflects their own organizational structure or their communication patterns, right? This is what Conway's law in a sense is. So this is called Conway's law because Melvin Conway introduced this concept in 1968, but generally every aspect, images and videos speak better. So let this concept sink in for a moment. We have a short 30 seconds video here for you. Playing.
Wait. Just a second. Yes.
Ever wondered why your company's product looks a little chaotic? That might be thanks to Conway's law. Conway's law says...
Yeah. Yes.
Ever wondered why your company's product looks a little chaotic? That might be thanks to Conway's law. Conway's law says that the structure of your organization shapes the systems it builds. If your teams aren't aligned, your product will look as divided as your team's communication. In short, if your teams can't communicate, neither can your product. That's Conway's law.
Never happened to us, right?
So, probably you would have seen this also in your companies, especially when you go join a new company, you would probably wonder, oh, I see quite a lot of microservices here, maybe that many teams as well. Or sometimes you'd be wondering, oh, this is a massive monolith, but maybe then the whole team, one team is managing the whole service there, right? This is quite common. Okay, now we know what Conway's law is, but so what, right? We understand, yes, organizations create their structures or their architecture based on their structures. So what can we do about it? That's why we are here today. So it's a powerful concept, yet very simple. If you think about it, the inverse of Conway's law just states the opposite, to say, if you like to design a particular architecture the way you want it, first design it, and then try to restructure or reshape your teams in order to fit your original desired architecture, right? So basically Conway's law says that your organizational structure creates it. Why don't you just inverse it and say, this is what I want, so I would like to restructure my company or my teams in that way. That's why it's very simple, but it also is very powerful, right? So in my example, maybe quoting from my own practical example now, one of the themes in our current company that we were trying to do, we had customer data that is flowing in, for example, from website traffic, and as well as all the assets that we generate for the customer, they're all distributed across different teams. So just for the sake of example, imagine tracking team is getting all the information about each customer, what they do when they come into our website. Let's also take Bubble, for example, here, right? So if a user comes and interacts, there is one set of information that's tracking, sits completely outside. Google Analytics is a specific service provider here. On the other hand, the companies will invest their own money, in their own effort in building their own customer data platform. Now, these are sitting in entirely different streams, but then when there is analytics that we have to do to provide back to the customers, or you want to push your business forward, these are different teams sitting in different places, but you're trying to solve one single problem. What are my customers doing? They're buying products, they're probably coming into a website, they're only interacting, they're not generating business. Can be all of these, but one problem that we are solving is customer. So we had the same problem, we had different teams sitting completely across. Then what we tried doing is applying the exact same inverse of Conway's law. To say, hey, this is my desired effect. Now let's try to re-engineer the solution, and then we reshape our organization. So that did work, and that's what we're going to do today as well in the case study that we have. And one another important thing that I would like to mention here is the teams. So the whole concept of Conway's law relies on the fact that we have organizational structures and their communication structures, right, which essentially is a topology. So you generally will be familiar with these very basic teams, very normal. So everywhere where you see, if you're developing a product, a service, whatever, that is the stream aligned teams, right? And then there are platform teams. Say you need infrastructure and there is a team that's providing it. This is very common constellation. Now, what you would also see in some cases are the complicated subsystem teams. So imagine my use case, I need machine learning models to be built. And this is specifically one area, some sub-complex system team. And maybe you also need something else more to it. And that is the enabler teams. Imagine you're doing a massive migration and you need some migration consultants. You could just bring in some team that is just plugged in, played, and they will only help you in doing the migration. Or imagine a DevOps team that is only helping you with a service that you would always use instead of you building the capability within your team. So all of these things, all of these are different teams, and then they communicate in a different way. There are three different communications. Just they collaborate, which means imagine in the case there is a product team that is just creating products and then they need infrastructure, they just communicate with each other. Or they can communicate with a service. In this case of a DevOps example, the DevOps produces a service and you just use the service to invoke all the CI/CD operations. Or a facilitation team. In this case, it could be something like a migration. So you're doing a massive migration project and there are migration specialists who knows how to do this, and they come in and they help you. So in this case, as you can see, the topologies are pretty important. When you want to apply inverse Conway's maneuver, you can leverage all of these things. Do I want this team? Do I want that team? Or if I have these three different teams, when I create them, what goes in between? How do they communicate with each other, right? These are the key aspects when you're applying the inverse Conway's maneuver. Having said all of these, maybe I would invite Ali to talk about some real-world examples.
I have a question because we are running out a little bit more of time. Would you like to learn more about this part, or we'll just start playing?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's skip this part. We do have the same slide again. Let's have fun. Yes, ask me. Question.
How exactly? Just slide back. Just previous slide. How exactly we do fun?
So, do you want?
Rules of the game.
Yeah, I said it already.
Just remind them.
Remind them. Okay. So again, we are splitting into groups. Please find your group. Please find your mentor. Please take your laptop. Please create a solution for your challenge, and then we will choose 3 of them, and then you will present, like if you are unlucky, you will present it to jury, and you will get a harsh feedback in front of everyone else.
Okay, don't scare them. So, yeah. So what we learned from previous experience, not every team should present. So first you can volunteer, but if you have many volunteers, we just ask only 3. Maybe just randomly pick 3 teams, and that's it. But you will get feedback inside, you have some mentors, we will be walking around, so definitely everyone will learn. Let's go find your team.
Can you share the link for where we should put the slides?
It is in the document. Everything in this document. Not to say different.
He hasn't read it.
Yeah.